I'd like to call the September meeting of the Kernersville Planning Board to order. Jeff, would you like to go over the format of our remote meeting?
Yes, those who are interested in participating, you're now watching the YouTube. You can go to the town's website under the posted agenda, and you can call in that number directly in. We currently have a couple of applicants on the line. I'm waiting their turn. So if you have any specific questions or comments, you may call that number listed on the agenda.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is the board roll call. If I call your name, if you'll just say present, please. Margaret Burks.
Present.
Diane Byers.
Present.
Luann Davis. Jim Frottenberg.
Present.
Steve Hutchins. Tom McDaniel.
Present.
Nathan Meyer. Chris Oakman.
Present.
Joe Orenstein. And Jim Waddell. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes for our August 10th, 2020 Planning Board meeting. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move we accept. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll go through a roll call vote. Margaret Burks?
Yes.
Diane
Approve.
Byers? I'm sorry?
I said I approve.
Oh, Diane Byers?
I approve.
Jim Frottenberg?
Approve.
Tom McDaniels?
Approve.
Chris Oakman?
Approve.
And Jim Waddell approves also, so the motion is carried. Next item on our agenda is the planning board annual meeting. Each year, as you know, we elect the officers of the planning board. We elect a chairman, a vice chairman, and a secretary. Secretary is automatically will be Jeff. So the floor is now open for nominations for chairman and vice chairman.
I nominate Jim Waddell as chairman.
I'll nominate Margaret Burks as the vice chair.
Okay. Any other
Wait a minute. Hold. I do not wish to be vice chairman. I'm old as hell, and I might not even live out my term. So let somebody else be vice chairman.
Okay. Any other nominations for vice chair?
We need to
Well,
have
you
a
just
second
gonna have-
too.
Go ahead.
We need to have a second too on the chairman.
I'll second.
I'll second Jim.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Chairman.
So we have a nomination and a second for chair. Do we have a nomination for vice chair?
I have a question.
Okay.
Does the vice chair have to be currently in the meeting? Are we nominated?
No. I wouldn't think so, does he?
No, he doesn't have to be.
I wouldn't think so, would you?
He should be here so to defend himself.
We'll teach you to miss a meeting. Sir. No, Jim, go ahead and assume no.
Okay.
Do you have a nomination?
I don't know yet.
Well,
I
of the
think
ones
Joe
that are
wants you
here,
to
is
do
there
a great
anybody,
job. I just don't know if he wants the job.
of the ones that are here, is there anybody that wants to do it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What's the name of the girl that sits beside me when we're in session in the courtroom? Huh?
Luann Davis. Luann
Yes.
Davis.
Yes, I nominate her. Luann, I just
Okay.
drew a blank.
There a second to the nomination of Luann Davis or another nomination?
I'll second the nomination, but I don't know if I want Luann to know I said that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Luann Davis to serve as vice chairman. Any further nominations from the floor?
Do we have to vote on the vice
Yes,
chair tonight?
yes, because this is our annual meeting, so.
We can't wait until Wednesday night?
Well, we may not have a Wednesday session.
Okay.
Any other nominations from the floor?
I move to be closed.
Okay, close the nomination.
Chairman Waddell,
I'm
Chairman
sorry?
Waddell. Yeah, I think we need to do roll call on both of those too, if I'm correct. Is that correct, Jeff or Rochelle?
They have they can do one nominating list. So right now, Jim Waddell, chair, Luann's vice chair, myself, secretary, so they can just do
Do
one vote.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
we're gonna get ready to do a roll call on that, so.
okay.
So we'll go through the roll call again. Jim Waddell is chair, Luann Davis is vice chair, and Jeff Hatling is secretary. Margaret Burks,
Yes, I vote, I approve.
Diane Byers,
I approve.
Jim Trottenberg,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Nathan, Chris Oakman.
Approve.
And Jim Waddell approves. So very good. Thank you. Next item on our agenda, we have a request, as you know, for a postponement on one of our cases tonight. We also have a recommendation to move it forward to the beginning of the agenda. And the item number is a rezoning under public hearings. It's C. Ray Thomas, attorney for owners. Petitioner requests a 1 and 2 phase use district rezoning from RS 20 HB-S to LB-S limited business special use district for properties located at 1020 North Main Street, containing a total of 13.03 plus or minus acres. The petitioner has requested that this be postponed until our next hearing. Any comments from the board?
I move for the approval of the delay.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Tom seconded. Okay, we'll go back to a roll call. Margaret Burks,
Yes,
Diane Byers,
I approve.
Jim Trottenberg,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Chris Oakman,
Approve.
and Jim Waddell. So the motion is carried. So that case will be heard at our October board meeting.
And Jim, I just want to announce, anybody who wishes to speak on any agenda item tonight, just give that number directly. The number to call in is 336-996-7289. 336-996-7289. If the line is busy, continue to call, and our IT director will get you on the line for the agenda item if you wish to speak tonight. Thank you.
Okay, next item on our agenda is our public session. This is not a public hearing, but a public session. The first case is final development plan. Milt Rhodes, agent for owner, for a final development plan. Approval of site plan titled Commercial Blocks 2 and 3, Springvale Hill Block 4, Block 9, and Phase 1, Section 3 Final Development Plan in the TND-S 2-phase zoning district for properties located within the Weldon Village near the intersection of Weldon Village Avenue and Old Salem Road, being parts of PIN number 6884-58-0147, 6884-58-5212, and 6884-47-2263, containing a total of 12.01 plus or minus acres. Petitioner is requesting approval of the second phase of a two-phase special use district petition. The uses as listed in the report, and this is only docket case 641 FDP TR11. Jeff?
I am switching over to share my screen now. Right. The petitioner in this case is requesting approval of the second phase of a two-phase special use district rezoning for the property located near the intersection of Weldon Village Avenue and Old Salem Road. The site is approximately 12.01 acres. This final development plan established a site plan layout for the proposed commercial areas east of Weldon Village at Old Salem Road and south of Repass Avenue, as well as the residential blocks along Weldon Village Avenue at the intersections of Springvale Hill Drive and Prospect Street. The site plan features a mix of residential and commercial uses. The developer has requested uses by development block or phase. Commercial areas are indicated where you see the red buildings. Residential areas are indicated by the green buildings. Greater detail for the breakdown of uses is found within the staff report. For clarification, the use residential building townhouse was not referenced in the staff report as a use for Springvale Hill Block 4. However, the developer has stated his intention to develop townhomes within that block. Staff recommends approval of the final development plan with conditions as written within the staff report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions of staff by the board? Okay, even though this is not a public hearing, is anyone online to speak either in favor or against this petition?
Milt Rhodes is online.
Okay. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Make a
To
motion
approve it.
I'm sorry?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, Chris Oakman made a motion for approval. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, Margaret,
Margaret.
second. Any further discussion of the board? Okay, we'll go through a roll call. Margaret Burks,
Yes, I approve.
Diane Byers,
I approve.
Jim Frottenberg,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approved.
Chris Oakman,
Approve.
and Jim Waddell approves also. Motion is carried unanimously.
Jim, just for
Yes.
Chris's, I just want to confirm on Chris's motion that included residential building townhomes as stated by Rochelle.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Chris.
Next item on our agenda is another public session, final development plan. Brent Severs, agent for owner, for a final development plan approval of site plan titled Stafford Center Hotel FDP in the HB-S two-phase zoning district for property at 1365 Hampton Plaza Drive, located within the Stafford Center Business Park, being a part of PIN number 6885-53-3930, containing a total of 2.46 plus or minus acres. The petitioner is requesting approval of the second phase of a two-phase special use district zoning petition. Requested uses are hotel or motel. This is zoning docket K547 FDP TR10.
Again, sharing my screen. All right, the petitioner in this case is requesting a final development plan for property located off of Stafford Center Drive near the intersection of Abbott's Trace. The proposed site is 2.46 acres, more or less, with an additional 0.39 acres as right-of-way dedication on Haynes Street. The site plan proposes a 93-room hotel that will be 4 stories tall. In 2018, this board approved a final development plan for the same hotel on the parcel located across Stafford Center. Since that time, the developer has decided not to build at that location. The site plan includes 125 parking spaces to serve the 93 rooms. The main access is off of Stafford Center Drive with a secondary access off of Haynes Street. Haynes Street will be extended to the western property line. Staff is recommending several conditions associated with the Haynes Street extension in an effort to address existing concerns or concerns from an existing residence that has access off of Haynes Street. Stormwater from the site will flow south towards Stafford Center Drive with a minimal amount of sheet flow from Haynes Street flowing north. The developer has submitted the following elevation for the building materials and style of the proposed hotel. Staff recommends approval of the final development plan with the conditions as written within the staff report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of staff? Okay, once again, this is not a public hearing, but do we have anybody that wishes to make a comment from the general public?
Brent is here to answer questions should you have any.
Okay, thank you, Brent. Any questions for Brent? Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion, we approve as submitted.
Okay, motion for approval from Tom McDaniel,
I second it.
second from Margaret Burks. We'll go through our roll call. Margaret Burks,
Yes.
Diane Byers,
Approve.
Jim Frottenberg,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Chris Oakman,
Approve.
Jim Waddell approved. Motion carries unanimously. Next item on our agenda is a preliminary subdivision review. Gordon Street subdivision, Ronnie Roberts, agent for owner for property located at 621 Gordon Street, being on the PIN number 6886-05-0730, containing a total of 2.45 plus or minus acres. Petitioner is requesting a 5-lot subdivision with a density of 2 lots per acre for property currently zoned IP institutional public. Rochelle?
Thank you, Chairman Waddell. This is Jeff Hatling. I'll be presenting this subdivision
Okay.
case. As mentioned, this is a 5-lot subdivision. The zoning currently is IP, institutional, and public. It's 2.5 acres. The original agenda had it as 2.45. Additional acreage was added to allow this to have a 2 units per acre.
So now it's 3 units per acre?
It's 2 units per acre.
Okay.
The Town of Kernersville preliminary subdivision review process intends to determine compliance with the town's adopted subdivision ordinance. Proposed subdivision is, at the state, is in the IP zoning district, which allows a minimum lot size of 10,000 square feet. Property owners allowed to subdivide their property to the minimum lot size as long as they comply with the subdivision ordinance. Regarding the watershed and stormwater, the site is in the Salem Creek watershed. The proposal is developed at 2 lots per acre. It will not require stormwater control measures or stormwater treatment. The stormwater will sheet flow towards Oakhurst and Lake Drive. Regarding public infrastructure, one of the primary reviews of the preliminary subdivision is to review the proposed public infrastructure. The site will be accessed off Gordon Street with no new public infrastructure. Public water and sewer lines are located in Gordon Street. Zoning compliance. The proposed lots conform to the Unified Development Ordinance, IP zoning district in width and an area by exceeding 65-foot lot width and 10,000 square foot lot size. Recommendation, based on the finding of facts, the proposed preliminary subdivision conforms to the town of Kernersville subdivision ordinance. Staff recommends approval with the following conditions. If a mail kiosk is required by the United Postal Service, it shall be maintained by the property owners. And secondly, the preliminary subdivision plan is shown in Exhibit A. I'd be happy to answer your questions.
What about lot 5, Jeff? Is it the 65 feet has got to be, is street access?
Yes, yes, these are very deep lots. And so yes, lot 5, it would
The one
be, like, it looks like a P.
Yeah.
Just a long, narrow lot. Most likely the home sites will be built up along Gordon Street. Is now a wooden lot. Most likely they'll keep the rear as a forest, but that would be up to the property owners.
Is there a type of home that's gonna be built on here?
Yeah, under the subdivision ordinance, there is no review of home types.
Okay.
Other than it has to be single-family residential homes.
They can't be 5 like mobile homes or anything like that?
No, they would have to comply with the town's building codes and zoning codes. But which does not allow for manufactured homes.
Okay. Any other questions of staff? Once again, it is a public session, but do we have anybody online?
No, sir.
Okay. So what's the pleasure of the board?
We accept as presented.
Jim Frottenberg moves for approval as presented by staff.
I
I'll second.
move that we approve.
Margaret second. Okay. We'll go through our roll. Margaret Burks,
Yes,
Diane Byers,
Approve.
Jim Frottenberg,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approved.
Chris Oakman, and Jim Waddell approved. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on our agenda, we move into our public hearings. First public hearing is a rezoning. David Webb, agent for owner. Petitioner requested general use district rezoning from GCRS 40 to KVBI Business Industrial for property located at 214 and 216 South Bunker Hill Road, being all the PIN numbers 7805-09-1814 and 7805-09-1955, containing 1.29 acres plus or minus. This is zoning docket K-783.
Rochelle will be making the presentation.
A petition for general use rezoning from Guilford County RS 40 to Kernersville BI has been submitted for the property located at 214 and 216 South Bunker Hill Road. A petition for voluntary annexation has also been submitted by the property owners. If approved, the proposed business industrial zoning district would be an expansion of Triad Business Park.
Okay.
In a general use rezoning, no conditions can be placed, uses cannot be limited, and the petitioner is not allowed to state their intended plans. Staff recommends approval of the following motion. Move to amend the zoning ordinances of the town by rezoning the property in case K-783 from Guilford County RS 40 to Kernersville BI, the said rezoning being consistent with the town's comprehensive plan and further being both reasonable and in the public interest, because the Kernersville Development Plan's land use plan recommends this area for businesses. Business industrial has enhanced design and site plan standards. Road improvements have been completed for this area to support economic development. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of staff at this point? If not, I'll declare the public hearing open. Do we have anyone wishing to speak in favor of the petition?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we have anyone wishing to speak in opposition to the petition?
No, sir.
Okay. Having no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. What's the pleasure of the board?
I move for the approval as requested.
Margaret, we have a motion for approval? Huh?
Yes, I made the motion.
Jim,
Yes.
we need to wait until our Wednesday meeting for action.
Oh,
But
okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
24 hours.
Well, I'm sorry. Okay, I forgot.
I withdraw my motion.
Hold on to it, Margaret. We'll get to it.
I
Hold
know.
on. Sorry about that. I wish this would go away, but it's not.
Yeah, I do too, but that's all right. All right, next item on our agenda is the rezoning. Charles and Joy Beaver owners, petitioners requesting a two-phase special use district rezoning from LIS to LIS Limited Industrial Special Use District for property located at 1118 and 1120 Snowbridge Lane, being all of PIN number 6886-90-9001, 6896-00-0108, and 6896-00-0319, containing 2.13 plus or minus acres. The uses and requested are those listed in the staff report. This is zoning docket K650.82.
Thank you, Chairman Waddell. As described, this is an amendment to a current special use district. The original special use district is highlighted in red on your screen. The area we're looking at tonight for the amendment would only apply to the 2+ acres owned by Mr. and Mr. Beaver. This is a list of the current uses for the site. Tonight's purpose is to add the following uses, or recommend, or the applicant is requesting the following uses that be added: motor vehicle repair and maintenance, motor vehicle storage yard, recycling center, testing and research laboratory, and parking commercial, and transmission tower. Of these proposed uses, the 2006 uses that the planning board heard on the original rezoning, motor vehicle repair and maintenance, and testing and research lab were removed from the original rezoning. Tonight, he's asking those be added back in. Manufacturing B was also removed. Motor vehicle body and paint shop was also removed. The land use plan for this area is business support intended to accommodate a wide variety of office, corporate park, warehouse, flex space, light industrial, retail, hotel, related uses. It sets standards including limited screening, outdoor storage, loading areas, enhanced front facades, and unified landscaping, lighting, and signage. And this site is basically consists of some flex space for small businesses. Staff recommendation regarding the motor vehicle repair and maintenance be permitted with the condition that the use shall only be allowed in the rear building, and parking shall be screened from the Snowbridge Lane, which is the access street. It should be noted that a notice of violation has been issued for an active motor vehicle repair and maintenance business currently operating in the rear of the building. Staff recommendation, Motor vehicle storage yard, which is defined as an outdoor area for the storage of more than one wrecked, damaged, or inoperable motor vehicle awaiting insurance adjustment, major body work, other repair, or other recommendation by staff. The current approved site plan does not accommodate outdoor area for storage. Staff is recommending not permitting motor vehicle storage yard. Regarding the recycling center, which is a facility which recoverable resources such as newspaper, glassware, and metal and aluminum cans are collected, stored, flattened, crushed, or bundled within a completely enclosed building. Recommendation by staff. Staff recommends not permitting recycling center since the site and building types would not accommodate an enclosed recycling center. Regarding testing and research lab, which is defined as an establishment primarily engaged in commercial research, providing testing services such as calibration and certification of instruments, food testing service, forensic laboratories, metal testing, and industrial X-ray inspection services, etc. Recommendation by staff. Staff recommends testing research lab be allowed with the condition that the use should only take place inside the building. Regarding parking commercial, which is defined as a principal use of a zoning lot with or without a parking structure for use as a place for the temporary long-term parking of motor vehicles. Recommendation of staff. Staff recommends parking commercial be allowed with the condition that the use shall be screened from Snowbridge Lane. Regarding transmission tower, staff, since the original rezoning is two-phase, the property owner would be required to come in with the final development plan for a transmission tower. Staff recommends permitting transmission tower. So staff recommendation on the rezoning, approval of the following uses. I will just read the ones in yellow, which are the new ones. Motor vehicle repair and maintenance shall only be allowed in the rear building, and parking shall be screened from Snowbridge Lane. Secondly, parking commercial shall be screened from Snowbridge. Thirdly, testing research lab should only take place inside the building and transmission tower. So staff is recommending those additional uses with the conditions. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of staff at this point?
So Jeff, from a Google Street View, it looks like there's already a screen on the rear building, a fence.
Correct. The current automobile repair service is in the rear building and currently is screened with a fence.
But the front building has a whole bunch of stuff parked there too, so, okay.
Yeah, miscellaneous small businesses occupy the other buildings or units.
Okay, any other questions of staff? If not, I'll declare the public hearing open. Anyone wish to speak in favor of the petition?
Charles Beaver's on the line. He said he can answer any questions.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'm here.
Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, this is Charles Beaver. And I'm here just to answer any questions from the staff and the board members if they have any.
Okay, what's your address, Mr. Beaver?
5655 Regents Park Road, Kernersville.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Beaver? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Beaver. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
Anyone wish to speak in opposition to the petition?
No, sir.
Okay. Then I'll declare the public hearing closed. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay.
Do we
Yes,
not?
Oh,
don't
Now we
have
have to wait on that until Wednesday too.
Yeah,
because it's
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No instant gratification here.
I'm trying to get us that extra 2.5 to 3. See, where I'm going. Okay, next item on our agenda is any public comments. Do we have anyone holding, would like to bring up anything before the board?
No, sir.
Okay. Planning board comments, Margaret,
No,
Diane,
No,
Jim,
No, I'm good.
okay. Tom,
I'm good. Thank you.
Chris,
I'm all set. Thank you.
okay, and I don't have any either, so. Staff updates, Jeff?
We have several cases. Rochelle, do you have the current list of cases that we're looking at now? One case would be the North Main Street.
I do. The North Main Street continuation is one of those. There are two cases along Pineview at 512 and 515 that would both be multifamily submittals. And then there's the Kernersville Automotive Club, a rezoning off of Old Winston. There is a Starbucks final development plan for Smith Crossing. And then we have 3 text amendments.
Yeah, regarding the on Old Winston Road is an interesting use. It would be a building that would be used by a club. You could join the club and store your car there. So it's kind of a store. It's also kind of like a museum. It's kind of a combination museum club. So people that have classic cars would join, and this would be a place where they could display them or store them. There's one in Raleigh. I think in our staff report we'll reference the one in Raleigh. Kind of an interesting concept. Of course, the one in Raleigh full of high-end sports car because of the techies there, all the fancy high-speed bikes. I think ours in Kernersville will be a little more of the old classics versus the European race cars. And then on the Pineview ones, there's 2 rezonings there. One side is a High Point Bank, old High Point Bank on 66 in Pineview, across from Park Chevrolet. That proposal would be to demolish the bank and a apartment with some retail office space on the lower floor. In an earlier case, right behind Zaxby's, behind Piedmont Federal, we approved a apartments there. They're coming in with a change to that original rezoning. So those are probably your 3 cases. Text amendments. The planning legislation for the state of North Carolina was amended last year. So we have a massive rewrite of the Unified Development Ordinance to bring it in compliance with the state statute. We're bringing part 1 to you on the next meeting. Part 1 is some things that were passed early on, and we'll have a couple other changes. One change is throughout the state of North Carolina, special use districts were traditionally called in other areas around the state conditional use rezoning, but some called it special. So the new legislation changes everybody's ordinance to be required at all special use rezonings or conditional use rezonings to be called conditional zoning. So there's a lot of simple changes like that, but still it's a lot of staff time to go through the ordinance and make the strikeouts and additions in there. The other text amendment is a watershed amendment, trying to give some more impervious area to some of our low density projects to help out homeowners with some accessory buildings and so forth, and projects where they might have a tighter stormwater controls. So that's kind of a summary. We also, it should be noted that we're working on, after the DRC meeting, we're going to send out to the planning board a summary of the cases. So if you have any questions early on, after you're getting that summary, you just contact staff. We can provide some additional information and specific site plans. But after the DRC meeting, which is held 1 week after the submittal, for instance, we had submittals today, and a DRC meeting is a week from Wednesday. At by the DRC meeting, we know which cases will be carried forward to the planning board, and we know what comments have been made on specific site plans. So provide a summary to give the staff, planning board more time if you got any specific questions on projects. Rochelle and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions of staff? Okay, just to remind the general public and myself, we have another meeting to finalize the vote on all the public hearings on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Anything else that needs to be brought before the board?
I have a question.
Okay, Margaret.
Back on that, I guess the hotel or the motel or whatever, it said the owners, the A. Ray Mathis Revocable Living Trust. Can somebody explain that to me?
We have an attorney online, irrevocable trust, Jim.
Not in my area.
Do y'all remember who A. Ray Mathis was?
Do not.
Didn't he found the Y?
Yeah, he was at the WOW for 100 years. And I want somebody to
It's quite
tell
a
me.
while.
Yeah, I want somebody to tell me about this.
So the
You don't-
property, yes, the property was originally owned and developed by J.C. Fall out of Wilkesboro. And then all the properties were auctioned off about a year ago. And this irrevocable trust bought 9 acres, and they're selling off a portion of it to this hotel site. So,
Well, who was in charge of it?
most likely irrevocable trust, a lot of times is controlled by family members or heirs.
Very strange. I'll have to investigate further.
Yes. Tom's over there, he might have insight too.
Huh?
Tom McDaniel, he might have insight too.
Well,
Does-
basically, I mean,
does-
it's for state tax purposes. I mean, and Jim, you don't have any, you can't shed any more light on it, or?
It's only been 30 years since I've been in law school, so.
Okay, gotcha. But it's for state tax reasons. Why you set those up.
Well, I can't.
Sort of
I
create
can't.
a legal entity to hold the assets.
I can't understand what y'all are saying, but anyway, that's all right. I will inquire further from some people that know something.
Well, and that's fortunate that you've been here for a while. You know the history better than all of us.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, anything else to be brought before the board? Okay, if not, I'll declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Till Wednesday night.
Till Wednesday night.
Thank you, guys. 6 o'clock. See you then.